everybody. My name is Mike Webb. Welcome to Music on a Mountain. First song I'm going to play tonight is one I wrote here recently called A Brand New Day. As the moon fades low, bow down to the light. Sun comes up, chase away the night. And the clouds open up, push the rain away to unveil the birth of a brand new day. Every day has its night, and night its day. And find a will, you can find your way. And the morning comes as night gives way to unveil the birth of a brand new day. Brand new day, brand new day. Yesterday's gone, so put it away. Unveil the birth of a brand new day. It's a brand new day, brand new day. Yesterday's gone, so put it away. Unveil the birth of a brand new day.
I had the preconceived notion run through my head here for the last 48 hours about, we've got a theme, and the theme is songwriting on this. And then you go and play this stuff on the guitar, and it's like the conversation I had with Bart about the top of the form, and there's no new thing with the guitar. Mm-hmm. There's like 5 in that one alone. I'm going, what? I think maybe I was the kind of, might get why people look at me funny sometimes, because you just blew my head off.
Wow, well, thank you, Jimmy. Cool. Thank you. Yeah. That song came about and most of the people that do follow me know that the year that I just came through, losing my wife and such, and I had a hard time getting back into writing again. It was really, everything that was coming out of me was just pure hurt.
Yeah.
And I knew it wasn't feasible, wasn't commercial, wasn't me, what I usually write. I had to write one, and I won't play it right now because I'll probably cry to get through it. But anyway, I wrote one, and once I got through that one, then they started coming back out and flowing like water again, and that was one of them that come out. And I was glad to be able to get back into writing again.
Yeah. Yeah. Seems like, for me anyway, that if I'm going to write for a new project, I really, really struggle. I have a hard time until I get that first icebreaker. And the next thing you know, I got 3 songs.
Right, exactly.
And then I got 6.
Yeah.
And, it's been that way for as long as a period of time as I want to call myself a songwriter.
And a good one, believe me, yeah.
But, the other thing that has been running through my head was when we were, talking about people like, Stacy Podiak. And she's got 3 names now that I call her.
Yeah, I haven't seen Stacy in a while. But, yeah.
But our alien soul sister, Stacy, we'll leave it at that. I was aware of her music back in MySpace days.
I was always a fan, yeah.
I absolutely fell in love with her work. And what's really interesting is when you meet these people and you do some gigs together or something goes down and you become friends with the people that you had such an admiration for their work to begin with. And then the music sometimes gets pushed off to the side and the friendships are a whole other ballgame. But that is a privilege to be able to, to become a friend of somebody that you were a fan of.
Yeah, and and as you, the first time I ever heard you play, I think was up to the bank up there, and I thought, who is this guy? How can he do the stuff that he's doing? And I've always been a fan of yours also. So.
Was it an acoustic gig or was it an electric gig?
It was an acoustic gig. Oh no, I take that back. It wasn't. It was the band that was there previous was an acoustic gig, and you jumped up and grabbed your electric on stage, and yeah, it was.
Yeah, it's hard telling.
I think who was the old boy that played piano with? Darn it! I'll remember his name here in a minute, but yeah, and there was like a house band. I think Chucky Good was there, I believe.
Yeah, some of those jam sessions that were going on.
Yeah.
I get you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I said, I was just in awe when I heard you play, and I thought, I don't know how you can do that. Nobody could figure out your tuning. And that's always been a secret, I think, but yeah.
Mike Boyle knows what it is.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Does he?
I don't. He knows. But, the concept of a songwriter.
Yeah.
I wrote a couple songs per se when I was a teenager. And I wasn't really sure at that point if they were songs. Kind of free form. And as Ashley was talking, Ashley Huffer, that someone had said to her politely enough that those are unorthodox. Unconventional, I think, is the term that she used. And I've been thinking a lot about that too, because for a long period of time, I would write definitely unorthodox and unconventional types
Gotcha,
of
yeah.
material. And I really didn't get around to and I probably railed against the conformity of verse, chorus out
I understand. I got you.
until I learned to do it without compromising whatever my, artistic vision might have been with this, because, I've got that degree of, the small degree of ego that it's like, this is art.
Yeah.
And it is.
I think the first time I heard your stuff was back probably when you was Uncle Mont's Quantry.
Yeah.
I believe was probably some of the first stuff, and
Yeah.
it just blew me away.
And then, it's about, it works, as anything else, about the time that you go, wow, I'm getting good at this songwriting thing. And then I see these videos on YouTube of Mike Webb, and I'm like, who's Mike Webb? 2 or 3 videos later, I'm going, Mike Webb is one of the most important songwriters I've ever heard in my entire life.
Thank you.
Because I've always espoused, that Mike Boyle,
I love Mikey. Yeah.
there is not enough good words to say about that
Oh,
man
I have to
as a
agree.
man and as a talent.
I agree.
And you both have that thing that I'm going to put you in, and it's not because you're my friend. I'm just known for speaking the truth, whether people like it or they don't, doesn't matter to me. But you two are probably the epitome of the great American songwriter. I don't care if you're Bob Dylan,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
I definitely have a respect for Mikey. He knows that too. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
the songs that he said that he didn't like, I was like, what are you talking about? That's some of your best work. But I think we're all prone to that.
We are our own worst critics. You know that. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
how long have you been doing this? And
Oh, I suppose the first song I ever wrote was when I was 14. I'm 67 now, so I've been doing it for quite a few years. But I would have to say just in the past 5 to 7 years, maybe, I've really got to the point where I've polished it to the point where I feel good about it, and I feel comfortable as being a songwriter, And then especially when I get people like you and another fellow I've been talking to out of Nashville that comes back through and tells me that you are a good songwriter. You should be making money at this. Then that just kind of cements it together, and yeah. And I intend to make that trip to Nashville here one of these days. I said, but I've raised my kids and I've lost my wife and I've written that song too. So anyway,
right,
that's kind of the plan coming up, I think.
yeah. Well, I mean, the advantages to all this is, we're all getting older every day, and doesn't. COVID is not going to stop songwriting.
No.
The lack of breath and heartbeat is the only thing that's going to stop a songwriter.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to see a high degree of incredible creative stuff come out of this.
Yeah.
But do you think that there is a conventional or unconventional, or is there any difference in anything, be it verse, chorus, or is it a mantra? Or poem,
Well, I mean,
or,
back in the day when when I first started writing, when I first started playing music, it was always two verses, a chorus, a verse, and a chorus, and that was kind of the way I wrote. Of course, now with the new pop country and such as it is, that I could have left half of my words out and just repeated most of them over and over, and made a good song out of it.
Right.
But I have always written to give you the option to determine how you want to take the song. I may twist it around to the point where it sounds like I'm going fishing, but I'm actually, courting a girl, or that kind of stuff. Which I've got one I'm working on right now in that way.
Yeah.
Which I always liked because it made it more diverse than just a standard, what they're putting out mostly today. Anyway, that's just me. That's the way I write.
Well, you're prolific, you're eclectic, you're one that can't be pigeonholed into a style. And when, Chad and I started talking about this thing, it was, the concept of diversity, and I'm going, we want, and to clarify on the mission statement, because, the first time I walk in, you're cold and I don't know what in the world I'm doing, we want to see hip hop, and we want to see rock and roll, and we want to see bluegrass and country and all these things. But I forgot the expansive part is pretty much, the only limitation is the amount of space that we're working with. It's certainly not,
Yeah.
I don't want that kind of music to be presented,
Yeah.
because I used to be a closed-minded individual.
Yeah.
And it's like, I want to hear everything.
Yeah.
I mean, you got a reggae band in Chillicothe, make one. I don't care. Bring it,
Yeah.
But I knew that I wanted you in because, I've done session work here with you. And I've been following, and I'm going, you can't put him in a box. And I really admire that.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
I find that, when I would write lyrics, that it was important to me that they read well. I first saw it as, what if I picked up a book? Does it read well?
Yeah.
And that was my test. And we've got a lot of good stuff in the modern era. And we've got a lot of brainwashing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's the interesting part. The whole possibility that, and it's happened to me, as far as not as a writer, but as a listener of music. You're going to hear something and you go, man, that thing stinks. And then they beat you about the head and with it about 15 more times on the radio. And
Yeah.
especially doing kitchen work like you used to, we had the radio on all
Yeah.
the time.
And after
About-
15 or 20 times, you start singing.
Yeah, you're going, no, maybe that's not so bad after all, right?
Yeah.
But when you run across an artist that I've never heard this song before, and when the end of that song for the first run is over with, and I just go, whoo, look out. Then you got it. And you got it.
Yeah.
All the time.
Thank you. Thank you.
I've never heard a bad doggone thing come out. And it's amazing to me because, I mean, I've written a lot of material myself,
I know you have.
but I ain't got to your
Well,
to your caliber as far as I'm concerned quite yet.
I appreciate that, especially coming from somebody that I respect like you. I do you. So yeah, that's great.
And we had to, I got to thank Mike too, because nobody knew it, but when Ashley and Dale were here the other night, Mike's sitting over here crouched down in the corner because he went out of his way to drive me down here because I don't drive anymore due to my dystonia problems and the health issues and stuff. So it was amusing to know that you're not on camera, but I kept looking over there.
Well, I had to keep my mouth shut, and that was
Yeah.
But, you know, through the years and all the stuff I've written, like I said, when I lost Lori gave me so much stuff to write about, and I wrote and wrote, and sometimes she gave me a lot of headaches and a lot of pain, but she gave me a lot to write about. So I know I wrote one time. Lori liked to drink her liquor, and I wrote one time called "I Don't Have the Liver to Love You." And John Schwab come back. He listened and he posted back and he said, "Son, you're killing me." So yeah, I'm gonna miss her, but I'll go on. I'll find stuff to write about.
Well, you know, in life, you got to remember the good times and be happy that you had them and go.
Right, I did. Yep. Yep.
And but on the brainwashing end of things, and the pop culture,
right,
that has been since the dawn of time, or at least the early '60s.
Yeah. And I have to agree with that one 100%. Yeah.
You know, I'm a student of humanity and history of humanity and all that, but you know, Dad having the sense of humor that he did, and not being a musician but understanding, you know, music. One of the funniest things that we ever saw was there was an actor, Steve Landesberg, used to be on the show Barney Miller. He's just one of the detectives.
Yeah.
They asked him to host, I believe, the Grammys.
Oh, yeah.
And I recall vividly Dad and I watching the Grammys, because there was a period of time we refused to watch the Grammys. Because, I mean, they were just putting out what we personally, our opinion was a bunch of crap.
Right, yeah.
He's like, Steve Landesberg is the host of the Grammys tonight. I'm going, no way.
That's got to be good.
And the guy, you know, he comes out and he makes a serious speech about something, and then a little bit later on, he's got to present an award. And what he said was, he said, "And now the award for the song, best song written on a Tuesday night." And we're both about to cry and laughing because, you know. And then later on, somebody performed something, and it was repetitive.
Yeah. And
he goes, 12 more times.
Yeah. And a sense of humor is a must. You've got to have a good sense of humor.
It's like 12 more times. Just in case you didn't know what it was I just said. But
yeah.
Lord have mercy, wouldn't do me any good to get on a show like that, because I couldn't keep my mouth shut.
Well, Lori always used to tell us this. She always used to tell this story. She said, you've got a morbid sense of humor. She says, but you've got a good grasp on reality. And she says, but I think I'm gonna keep that white coat with the long sleeves in the closet just in case. She said.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, on the in keeping with not being political, regardless of, people don't like Ted Nugent. Some people like Ted Nugent. I've been to many a Ted Nugent show in my day because of his musicianship. I don't really go political.
Yeah, especially when you're jumping off the top of them amplifiers. And,
Yeah, and just going off the deep end or whatever. But
yeah.
I use a line I heard in an interview that he did years ago because I find it fits in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Is if you don't have a sense of humor, you will hurt yourself getting mad at me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I thought
That's good.
that's great because I'm going to use that.
Yeah.
And I have
And
a
that's
lot.
and that's a fact. Yeah.
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 But I had written a few, couple things. You know, The Storm, which was instrumental when it was released, initially had lyrics. And I put the lyrics back in it now, you know, whenever it does get performed or recorded or anything like that. But I just was extremely self-conscious about the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I recall being out with Don Hill
Mm. Oh,
and,
yeah.
and Mike and
Yeah.
Michael Roberts, and we were doing a gig in Asheville up at Stewie's. I asked Mike, you know, if he'd written anything new lately. And he's like, yeah, I got this idea and that idea, whatever. And he's like, well, what about you? And I said, I don't see myself being a songwriter. I cannot figure out how to do that. I've written a couple things. And he goes, it's not as hard as you think. He said, you just have to have the proper inspiration to begin with, you know.
That's a fact.
And he said, I don't care if it's something that's you read in a book, one line, one in the newspaper, or the bathroom wall.
Mm-hmm.
If you can get that line, that means you get another one. And it is a, you know, work.
Mm-hmm.
It's a craft.
Yeah, it is.
It
is.
really is.
It is. You know, and I have found myself that some of the best stuff and some of that I write is usually in the middle of the night, and I would lay there and I'd always have to wake up about 4 o'clock and go pee.
Right.
And couldn't get back to sleep, and I'd just reach over and grab my guitar or grab my phone and start writing lyrics and such. And the song I'll play here on the end of this thing is called 4 a.m. And that's you know, it's my quiet time when I can actually stop and think. You know, we all have those little songs that we write that come to you in 15 minutes. Mm-hmm. The ones that I wrote one time that in 15 minutes time, all the lyrics were down and done, and I had the music in my head. And I got up the next morning, grabbed my guitar and played it, and it was done. Other songs, one I wrote called Dreams, I wrote for my daughter's wedding. I started 25 years prior to when I finished it. And I finished it 25 years later and sung it for her at her wedding. So you talk about being a process. Yes, it is. It can be given to you in just a heartbeat, or it can take forever for you to find that line to finish it with.
Mm-hmm.
But
sometimes they're very, very direct. Sometimes they're, as you said, open to interpretation. I've started to find myself writing a bit more direct.
Mm-hmm.
But knowing me, I'll change that. I'll probably go back to that thing. And to be honest, I mean, I think out of 110 on my end, you've probably written more than that. But
I figure over 300 right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't remember half of them.
Well, I can't either.
Yeah.
I took way too much time off.
Yeah.
I got to relearn my own material
Me
at this
too.
point. I can call out 7
Mm-hmm.
that fit the formula of keep it under 5 minutes, and preferably it's 3 minutes and 30 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
and to be able to say something meaningful that you want to in that short a space. And then with the issue of me being a guitar player, by golly, it's going to have guitar solos in there somehow.
Sure. Yeah. I do
You
myself also.
You know, and to get to that point to where you go, wow, I know how to do that now.
Mm-hmm.
And it just makes you want to write more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Until the time comes that Rick Barnes and I were discussing the joys of the United States Library of Congress copyright.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And what are they charging, like $35 a song or some kind of crazy number now?
God, it's like 50, 60, 75.
Yeah. I quit, you know. Like
I do it under collections.
Yeah. Well, and yeah, you'd have to.
Yeah. I'll send 12 songs.
And like me and you was talking on the way over here, I said, you know, I put mine out on Facebook, and you know, legally they're copywritten if they're written down and they're especially if you put it out on social media. I always felt that that was probably one of the best cheap copyrights I could do.
Yeah.
And still, you know, like you said, you know, a publisher might have a problem with that, but if a publisher wants to come talk to me, then we'll spend some money. But until
Spend
then,
some money, and you have him let him get on the computer and take that headache,
right,
because
right,
I've done that so much, and you know, even though that's not all out there because of the way the industry worked and all the backroom deals, and I don't have a quote unquote website anymore. That it's like, man, 10 albums or 10 projects. Some might have been EPs, you know, and then you got a few albums. And you get done with each one after a certain point, and you go, I am never going to write another song in my life, and go through the process
of all that.
and it used to be, it's like, send us a copy of the CD, and we're going to put it through the safety machine and erase it. Because that thing has to be a potential bomb. Can you send us a replacement copy? Yes, I can. Will you not destroy it too? Because you're dragging this out.
Yeah.
You know, and Lord have mercy. So then everything has gone to, you know, uploading digitally online, which is great, because as soon as it hits, it's covered.
Yeah.
Hit send. Here's my bank card, and take $100 of money I don't have.
Right. Yeah.
And poof, there you are, you know.
Yeah. And it seems like that's the way everybody's doing it now these days is downloads offline, which I haven't done yet, and I intend to start, you know. Brother-in-law of mine told me, he said, you need to get some of that stuff out on Spotify and do something with it. Yeah, I do have a website. It's paintandglassmusic.com, but and I do need to start taking some of this stuff and putting it out there. That's what everybody else is doing. I guess I'm going to have to do it too.
Yeah. Mike Melinda, I saw a post this morning, and Mike is Mike's an incredible person.
I love him to death. He's good people.
But, you know, Melinda's talking about, you know, his view on Spotify. And I've talked to a lot of my friends about it and explained to them that the royalty rates on that is we are giving our music away now.
Oh, yeah. I do know that.
I mean, I remember an interview with Little Richard and Bo Diddley. And they were talking about it, you know, in the 50s.
Mm-hmm.
They were making half a cent. You had to sell 2 records to make a penny. We're not getting that.
Oh, yeah.
Half the time.
I have no clue what it is, yeah. But I know it's not much.
0.05974 of a cent
Is that right?
per play in a lot of cases.
Now, that would make me want to sit back and say, well, I ain't never writing another damn song.
Yeah, because you look at your time investment, your soul investment,
Yeah, definitely.
your financial investment,
Yeah.
but we still do it anyway.
Oh, I know it. You know, it's the $5 card to $50 show. That, you know, that. Yeah, you know, and I do it more for the music and more for my heart than anything. You know,
Right.
and if somebody else appreciates it, that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And if they don't like it, there might be something wrong with it.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, I said, well, you know, you just love me too much, and I just love you too much. I don't know about these people out here. I do have a pretty good following, and I sure do appreciate the people that do follow me because they, you know, most of them have been around a long time.
Well, the thing of it is, I'd say the same thing about it. If I didn't know you, I'd be like, God, you ought to hear this.
Mm.
You know, it's just an extra bonus feature that I do know you, and we become friends, and
Yeah.
you know,
Yep.
you got a heater in your car.
I got a heater. That's right, I do. And you just call me anytime you need to go somewhere, son. I'd be glad to take you. I got an air conditioner too, so we can do it in the summertime.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Can you back your car through the front of the house?
Turn it on.
Turn it on a little bit. Things ain't going right today. You know.
Yeah.
So, what do you think is, do you use a lot of alternate tunings or anything like that?
I write a lot in drop D. I love drop D.
Everybody's saying that these days.
And now Kevin Stewart, a buddy of mine, he plays in a lot of funny tunings, and you and him would get along just great.
I invited him up to the house one time.
Did you?
Yeah. And I don't know what happened there.
Yeah.
It's like, come on up, and, you know, I had the recording studio.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he thought maybe I was going to cut him up in little bit pieces and hide him all throughout the woods, or what it was.
How well he knew you at that point, huh?
Yeah, I don't really know what the deal was. But sorry to interrupt you. I just had to crack up about that one.
We'll get together I'll tell you what, we'll get together, me and him, one of these days. And, yeah, I really think that you two would really get along. And I think all of us would get along real good together. We might put something together, but.
Yeah, we're all overdue to make another record.
Mm-hmm.
I think we all need to make our own records and work on each other's records and do all that kind of
We know there's so much talent around this little town anyway.
Yeah.
And I don't know where it all comes from, but there is. I mean, you and I, I'm sure, could sit here and name people all day long. And I think that this thing, what you and Chad are doing, is going to showcase quite a bit of that talent that is around here.
Right.
Which I think is good.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the goal. And, you know, there are so many that I hope that no one ever gets offended if they don't get their name brought up, because we're talking about a couple hundred.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
At least.
I would say.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, I could sit here and go for the next 10 minutes and not
Well, I know. Yeah. And I
even
still forget somebody, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
But, yeah.
Yeah, that's for sure.
But like I say, I think this is a good plan you guys have got going here. This.
Well, we appreciate that. And it's been a nice outlet
Yeah.
for me to do something productive other than
Find a car with a heater and get out of the house.
You're
for a
right.
minute.
Yeah, find a car over here, get out of the house.
Yeah.
There's a song in there.
Yeah, I think there is. Yeah.
You never know.
I was talking to a girl online that I go to church with, and she is asking me. She said, because they've had the churches shut down and really nobody had been, I hadn't had a chance to get to church in quite a while. And she asked me, she says, well, how you doing? I said, well, I'm doing okay. I said, I'd really like to get back into church again, back with everybody. I said, in this music, I said, I'm getting so much of it put together and polished. And I said, I really think I'm going to make a trip to Nashville pretty soon. I said, I guess I just need a VW microbus and a double shot of Jesus. And I wrote that song.
Oh, wow.
And it really turned out pretty good, too. So, yeah. But, yeah, once this COVID starts lifting a little bit, I think things will start letting up again. And I plan on getting out and doing a few shows myself and maybe drag somebody else into it with me. And so, I don't know. We'll see how it goes.
Right. Yeah. I've been sitting on a couple.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about that the other night as well.
Mm-hmm. That might be, if nothing else, I know it'd be a lot of fun, whether anybody wants to listen to us or not. I walked into an open mic with a buddy of mine one day, and we walked in, and he said, I think it was that Stewart boy that was around, I can't remember his name right now, and he's going to hate me for this when he watches this. But anyway, he was doing an open mic out to Tom Edwards it was, I'm sorry, out to Roosters, I believe it was, one of them two out there. And I walked in, didn't have my guitar, and I walked up to him, and I said, do you mind if I play a song? He said, no, I don't care. He said, just let me finish up here, and he says, and I'll let you play one. Me and Doug Hill were in there together. And so I grabbed a guitar, and I started playing. I played through the first one. There wasn't a damn person in the place that even cared that I was even in there, wasn't listening to a damn thing I did. So then I got about halfway through another one, and I took the about halfway through, and nobody was still listening, so I just set the guitar down. They didn't even know I set the guitar down. I just walked back to Doug, and I said, Doug, I think we're in the wrong place. He said, what makes you think so? I said, look around. I said, everybody in here's got all their teeth. I said, me and you are the only two in here that don't have. I said, I think so, and I understand, they were out to have a good time. They weren't really, songwriters especially get a little worked up when they walk into a place and start playing and nobody's listening,
Right.
I know I do.
Have you seen the Blaze Foley film?
What is it?
The Blaze Foley film. Blaze Foley was a songwriter from Texas, and he ran with Townes Van Zandt.
Oh, uh-huh.
Yeah, and brilliant guy.
Mm-hmm.
Eccentric as all get out. Duct tape Messiah. He decided that, he'd seen all of the rhinestones and what was Travolta came out with, what film? Urban Cowboy.
Oh, yeah.
So everybody's got silver tip boots.
Yeah.
Silver tip collars.
Yeah.
He just went and got duct tape. He's like, I don't need to spend that kind of money. He started adorning himself with duct tape, and that's so they got to call him Duct Tape Messiah.
Huh.
And he was one that was an incredible guy. He died doing a very honorable thing. He died defending an old man.
Really?
Whose son liked to come in, whoop up on him, take his Social Security check, and go out and buy drugs. And Blaze had enough of it, and ended up got shot by the kid for doing all that. But
Wow.
he lived his own life, but his body of work is an exception. I mean,
I'm gonna have to look that one up.
Merle Haggard covered "If I Could Only Fly,"
Mm-hmm.
and that was written by Blaze.
Oh, okay.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
And, so yeah, it's,
I'm gonna have to look him up.
yeah, unreal. But they have a documentary, and then they have a biopic just recently on the biopic, and definitely go for both.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
But, I got to share this with you.
Okay.
You know what that is?
Mm-mm.
That's what I've been hearing for the last 4 days on hold with the Internal Revenue Service. I told Mike Oney, I was like, I'm going to learn it.
They might get you for infringement on that.
I said, man, I want to write music for them, see if I can't make some money off of them guys. Well, maybe they'll call me.
Well, maybe so. Now
They'll talk to me,
yeah,
right?
maybe they'll get hold of you now since you're infringing on their music.
Yeah, I'm in trouble with somebody, but that's not anything unusual.
That's funny. That's funny. Yeah.
Oh, Lordy.
Those are people you never want to talk to until they owe you money, and then when they owe you money, then you want to talk to them.
Oh, Lordy. And, but I'm glad that there are people like you out there that,
Thank you.
we'd be in a real hurt.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah. Well, it like I say, it is a network thing, and with all the musicians here that we have around us, and yeah, it is. It's kind of like a little family type thing.
It is.
Works good.
sometimes they fight and sometimes they make up and all kinds of things.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Has it been that long already?
I think it has.
Okay. Well, I guess I can play you guys another song here. And I think I told you there earlier, I said this is in the middle of the night when I get up, and that's my writing time, is 4 a.m. I put this song, started writing this song, and I wasn't sure what the title was going to be. My daughter said, well, it ought to be 4 a.m. I said, I think you're right. I said, I think that's going to work. So anyway, that's the way I finished it, and that's the way it came out. So anyway.
Now, do you want me in on this?
It's up to you. Oh, it's another sleepless night. The Sandman didn't show. My mind says stop. My heart says no. I can't shake you loose, and why I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what you did, but you sure did do it well. I can't believe how hard I fell. Don't seem to be no way to break his spell. Lord, I fell. And here I am, ain't me, man I used to be. I'm looking in the mirror, who's that I see? Standing there looking back at me. It ain't me. And here I am, it's 4 a.m. with you running through my mind again. The way it is, the way it's been, every night about 4 a.m. Every night about 4 a.m. Thank
It's just been a pleasure.
And it is with you too. You know how much I love and respect you, brother. So yes,
I ain't had anybody tell me they love me in a long time. I appreciate that.
well, let's not get too big ideas. But it is great to work with you, Jimmy.
I love you too, man.
Okay.
I really do.
All righty.
And we'll see what kind of shenanigans we can get up to.
Sounds good. Sounds good. I'd like to do that. Sounds good.
So
Might even get something out of Chad too here.
yeah. Well, thank you, Chad. Thank you for all the watchers and viewers, and
Yeah.
hopefully no critics and the IRS.
Yeah. Good night, everybody.